Today we're going to look at the first part of the topic, which is about matter, and that matter is made up of particles. And the dot points we're going to focus on is identify the difference between elements, compounds and mixtures in terms of particle theory, and identifying that matter is made up of particles that are constantly moving and interacting. So both of these are basically the basis of all chemistry, and if you understand these well, that will help you build your knowledge as we go through the topic. So what is matter? So matter is basically anything that occupies space and it also has a mass. So everything in our known world, our known universe, has matter. Okay, it basically has three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. We're going to focus on these three states, even though there is a fourth state known as plasma, but we're not going to worry about that for our learnings today. We're just looking at solids, liquids, and gases. And all matter is made up of particles, and these move around and interact. But the particles, we also call them atoms. So they're the smallest unit of matter. Okay, and then they go together to make bigger and bigger molecules, compounds, etc. So this is the basic structure of an atom. We'll go into this in more detail in the topic, but it's just for you to get an idea of what an atom looks like. You should have learnt this earlier in your schooling, but atom is basically, there's a central part called the nucleus made up of protons and neutrons. So protons are your positive particles and neutrons are neutral. So they're the two easiest to remember. So P for positive, N for neutral or no charge. And then electrons orbit around the nucleus here in shells, and each shell can hold a different number of electrons, and the number of electrons, neutrons and protons is different for every single element. And so example, an atom of helium is going to look quite different to that an atom of hydrogen. So each element's atoms are specific and look the same. So these are a few basically important basic definitions you need to know about the different kind of ways that matter exists. So first you've got pure substances, and so the important term here is homogeneous. So homogeneous just means they have the same type of particles throughout, and it's a definite. So this includes things such as elements and compounds. So for example, an example of that is hydrogen. So in that element there is only ever hydrogen particles or hydrogen atoms. There's nothing else in there, and it is a pure substance. Other examples are oxygen, helium, or any of the elements you could name off the periodic table. So have a look at the diagrams. There are three examples of pure substances and elements because there is only one type of atom or particle present there. Compounds are the other type of pure substance. So if we have a look there, yes, there are different types of atoms if we're looking at the pictures here, but there is only the one type of compound present in each of these. That's what makes it pure, okay? So please keep that in mind. Examples include water. So water is made of hydrogen and oxygen, each of compound, but the compound itself is only ever made up of those things, and there is nothing else in there if it is a pure substance. The other thing we're going to look at is mixtures, and a lot of this topic hinges on mixtures, and we look at how to separate them and the different ways to do this. Basically, mixture is something that contains two or more pure substances. And remember, they're all mixed together. So again, looking at the pictures down here, they're all mixed together, but they're not actually bonded to each other. So you can have two types of mixtures. There's homogeneous, so they have the same composition and properties throughout, and then you can have a heterogeneous mixture. So it's not uniform in composition and properties throughout, so it will change as you go through. So now what I would like you to do is read and summarise pages 8 to 9. So we'll go over what I've just covered, and then you're going to answer questions 1 to 3 on page 10 of your textbook.